Hi, this is Tana with Amazing Changes, and today I want to talk to you about a subject that I was spurred to talk to you about because of a quote I just put on my Facebook page by Albert Einstein that says, "Unthinking respect for authority is the greatest enemy of truth." So let's think about that for a minute. I feel like it's very, very important to question everything, to question authority, and to dig in and to be open and to make sure that what you're being told is really what is being put out there. So let's talk about the Bible, for example. We're told by many people that the Bible is the unerring Word of God. We're told that we should never question the Bible because it is true. However, there are many things that are in the Bible that you may hear people talk about that isn't what it says. So for me, that just doesn't make sense. So let's talk about one of the biggest things that everybody knows and believes, even people who don't necessarily believe in religion or are proponents of the Bible. And that goes back to the story of Noah. Anybody that I have ever asked says, when I say, how many of each kind of animal went on the ark with Noah? Well, what's the answer to that question? 2. Hands down, everybody answers 2. If you go to Genesis 6, it's talking about, yes, it does say, 2 by 2, the animals went into the ark. 2 by 2. You keep reading just a little bit further into the first part of chapter 7, and it says, there were 2 of each unclean animal, and 7 pair of each clean animal. Now that should give us a minute to take a pause, because that's not what we're told. That's not what we all believe. We hear 2 by 2, right? We sing the little songs, the animals, they went in by twosies, right? The elephants and kangaroosies, right? We all know that. We're taught that from children. But the Bible itself says that there were 7 pair of each clean animal. Okay, I'm not going to get into that whole discussion right now because that's a whole nother discussion. My point in this video is, why do we not stop and ask questions? Why don't we say, well, I thought it was 2. I didn't know it was 7 of each kind of this particular, and what does that mean? So that should raise a lot of questions, and that's what it's supposed to do. That's why it's written that way, in my opinion, is to get us to question, to get us to talk, to get us to discuss, to get us to dig and go, okay, there must be something here that I need to look at. Because otherwise, and what we do instead is we just skim right over these things, and because we've all been told our whole lives that 2 of each kind of animal went on the ark, we read that in black and white and we don't even see it. I'm telling you, I never saw that, ever. And I've read Genesis many times in my whole life. But I never saw that until just a few years ago. And all of a sudden, when I didn't see it, I just went, what? I never saw that before. What does that mean? And from there, we dove into it, and there's a whole nother study about that subject. But for right now, I'd like to just say to you, yes, we need to respect authority, but we don't need to respect authority unthinkingly. We need to think, we need to pay attention, we need to ask questions, and we can question authority in a respectful manner. So I'm not saying to be disrespectful. And you know what? I love the Bible. But I love digging deep. I love going into the language that the Bible was written into. The Old Testament was written in Hebrew, and the New Testament was written in Greek, but by Hebrew people, by Hebrew thinkers. Okay? So we need to learn about that. What were their idioms? What was their culture like? What were they talking about? Who was the audience? How would they have heard what was being said? Unless we begin to take those things into consideration, we can't understand the Bible. It makes no sense. It's been translated with a doctrinal bias. All the translations, many of them have been changed, things have been taken out, things have been added. There are books that have actually probably should have been in the canon that aren't. So I'm just telling you that I would like to encourage you to stop and ask questions, because there are powerful, powerful words in that book. But unless we dig a little deeper and we go into the history and the culture, we will not understand it. So there you go. You have my 2 cents about Noah and the ark, and I hope that gives you a little bit of food for thought today. So thank you so much for watching.